Hey Miriam. Okay, so here's the transformation. This plus 4 on the end is a shift, is a K shift. So that's up and down because it's not in parentheses with the X. So you did a good job on your first graphing. Do the same thing that you did there. So we would look at the exponential form of this. So we would have 3 to the equals X because remember that this whole thing is equal to Y. So when we switch to exponential, we keep our same base. Our y is our exponent, and then x, our object, comes out here. So I've ignored the plus 4. I'm just switching to exponential. So what I'm going to do is plot my points here for my exponential form. So put x and y here. So I'm going to start with y, obviously. So I will plot my normal points, -1, 0, and 1. 3 to the -1 is 1/3. 3 to the 0 is 1. And 3 to the 1 is 3. So here's where the transformation comes in. What I'm going to do for the transformation is I'm going to look here at the end, this plus 4 on the end, because it's all by itself, it's not with the x, it's being added on. So that means I'm going to add that on to all my y values. So that makes my new y values be 3, 4, and 5. And now I am ready to graph. So I just plot all these points. And we'll do that in blue. So I would do 1/3 and then up 3, and I'm just doing kind of a rough estimate. And then over 1 and then up 4 and over 3 and then up 5. Okay, now I'm ready to draw my line. So I actually need to fix this one a little bit. I drew it too high, so it's probably, since this is 4, this is 5. So the line will look something like that. Okay, so my asymptote is still, my vertical asymptote is still here where x is equal to 0. So x equals 0. Because I didn't shift left or right, I only shifted up or down. Okay, so that's one. Let me do another one for you just in case. So let's try one where we have a shift to that h. So this would be like log base 2, and then in parentheses you might have x minus 1. Okay, so then we would start with our key points, just like we did before. And so we would take and write this as exponential. So we would have 2 to the y equals x, and then we would do -1, 0, 1. Plug in -1, we get 1/2, we get 1, we get 2. And then we look at our transformation. So in this case, our transformation is that we are doing the opposite, remember? So we're going to add 1 to all of our x's. So I'm going to add 1 to all the x coordinates. So now I would get 1 and 1/2, I'll get 2, and then I'll get 3. So the red and then this black would be what I would graph. So on my graph, and again, rough estimate here. Now notice, since I do have a shift left or right, my asymptote is now, instead of at x equals 0, it's going to be here at x equals 1. So now I'm ready to graph. I can graph, let's see, so I would go to 1.5 and then down 1. And again, rough estimate. I'd go to 2 and down 0. And then I would go to 3 and up 1. And my points aren't very good because I just did a rough estimate. But your graph should look like that, and it would flow here right along this guide along your asymptote. So hopefully that helps. If you get a case where you have both, then you would just add or subtract to both. If you have a negative in front, then what I would do there is you would just take all your y's and you would multiply them all by a -1. So that's if you end up with a negative out front. All right, hope that helps.